Playing Goat Simulator 3 makes you feel like you're playing a meme, ragdoll version of Grand Theft Auto, where instead of playing as drug-addled psychopaths, you play as a stinky yet lovable goat. Goat Simulator 3 is a simulation, adventure, sandbox, platform, and casual game that was developed by Coffee Stain North and published by Coffee Stain Publishing. The main story of Goat Simulator 3 is that you are captured by this farmer because you have quite the reputation for causing havoc in Goatville and Goat City Bay. He says that he's going to train you to be the best goat ever, so that he can milk you dry and exploit your goat skills for profit. This story definitely doesn't cater towards people who want a good story, but rather people who like random meme nonsense. Also, shout out to the Skyrim intro cutscene. Goat Simulator 3 can be played on mouse and keyboard or controller. However, playing with controller on the Epic Game Store is apparently some kind of convoluted process. But when it is released on Steam, PC versions should have full controller support. Goat Simulator 3 is available on Android, iOS, Xbox Series X/S, Xbox Cloud Gaming, PlayStation 5, and Microsoft Windows, but only on the Epic Game Store, with Steam planning on releasing it February 15th. Goat Simulator 3 does not currently support crossplay. And here's the menu settings. If you want to read it, pause it. Goat Simulator 3 actually does look good. The scenery looks lifelike. The way shadows are on the ground from the sun makes for a beautiful looking game. The character models look kind of generic, but they're not terrible. The voice acting gets obnoxious fast, and you'll typically hear a set number of lines over and over and over again. Also, with enough hours, you're probably going to hear the soundtrack in your dreams with the rest of your demons, and maybe a goat. Anyways, here's the system requirements. 1070 GTX, 16 gigs of RAM, 12 gigs of storage. Your PC doesn't need to be the GOAT to play this, you feel me? In Goat Simulator 3, there are quests, or as the game calls them, events. Completing events earns you karma to buy various things in the store that not only help your goat, but also cosmetics like turning you into a giraffe. You also unlock unique gear that cannot be purchased in the store through events, and you gain Illuminati points to increase your Illuminati rank, which earns you rewards such as access to new equipment and skills. The events usually just have you do some random nonsense, like walking into some machine to oil it up and then get logs out of it. Or the quest where you have to find Steve the fish, lick him, and throw him out of the pond he was in order to save him. There's also the Goat Towers, which are towers that are all exact copies of each other that are scattered throughout the map. Goat Towers act as customizable personal hub areas where you can turn in rewards, change the decor within, and view maps to locate instinct shrines. Which brings me to the next subject. Instincts are little challenges you can do that will reward you with karma. In order to acquire more instincts to complete, you need to either find an instinct shrine or find specific gear to unlock more challenges. The goat that is simulating the experience for you has a host of mechanics that he can perform, such as running, but no sprinting. You can jump. You can do a bigger jump. You can lick things to drag them around even if a goat realistically is nowhere near strong enough to move the object. You can interact with things. You can go... Every so often, the running animation will change to you dragging your ass on the ground for either the meme factor or because you have worms. You can headbutt things with bone-shattering strength. You can climb walls like a gross bug, do a flippity flip, press a button to go limp and fling yourself into the side of a car in slow motion. You can emote, grind on rails like we're playing Tony Hawk Underground, where Tony Hawk is actually a goat. There's abilities you can use, which I'll go into later. Hijack a car and drive it because who cares? This is Goat Simulator. There's also some environmental effects that cause different things to happen to your goat, like being set on fire or electrocuted. This causes some of your actions to be enhanced with either fire or electricity. Oh, and you can shoot fireballs like your Mario. There's also oil, which will make you slippery and allow you to throw oil at others, which will also make them oily. Your goat can also use equipment that you can buy from the store, including but not limited to celestial wings, which allow you to float softly to the ground. You can throw a bootleg Captain America shield, or a Christmas light shooter that just makes Christmas lights appear. These are for mostly decoration, but can electrocute you if you walk into them. Here's the map. You could use it to fast travel to Goat Towers or your friends if you're playing multiplayer. In order to unlock other Goat Towers and reveal other parts of the map, you need to find them, and then watch them corkscrew their way out of the ground. In Goat Simulator 3, there are two different non-wearable things that you can discover and collect, which are ramps and trinkets. Trinkets are little golden statues hidden throughout the world. Collecting them all gives you an in-game reward. And ramps are just ramps that you drive a car off of, which also triggers a cinematic scene to play. Finding them all will also give you an in-game reward too. There aren't very many actual enemies for you to fight. All I've ran into so far is the grandma that shoots balls at you from a rocking chair, and some Karens that shoot lasers at you because they're pissed off you knocked over their cupcake. The main thing that's going to be halting your progress in this game is the sheer vagueness of the events that you have to do. Like, just read some of these and try to understand what the hell you're supposed to do. Like for this one quest, it just says, prove the unprovable. It is very unclear what the game actually wants you to do. And the devs are basically like, yeah, we don't really care. Just Google it, loser. Which I respect the hell out of. For multiplayer, there's co-op gameplay where you can invite 3 of your friends in either local or online to help you cause mayhem and destruction around the island of San Angora. There's some mini games for you to mess around with as well, like Hoofball, where you grab an object and bring it to your net to score. Or maybe you're a demolition derby enjoyer, where everyone starts out with 3 bombs on the back of their car, and the goal is to ram other players to blow up the car and destroy a bomb. Last one with a bomb left wins. This is kind of like budget Mario Kart battle mode. And the last one I'll talk about is Prop Golf, where you get random objects into the hole. First one to do so wins. There are other mini games as well, but this should paint a good enough picture. You can only join people's games through invites, so you can't just join random people's games and mess with them. The entire game though is basically one big grief fest, especially if you play with other people. You could just headbutt each other, which could either cause you to go limp or send you flying across the map. There's no form of communication in the game because you don't play with randoms, and it's assumed that you'll be in Discord. There is no pay to win or battle pass nonsense, but there are many ways to cosmetically customize your goat. Look at all the options. Wow. There's a ton of glitches, and yet again, the devs could not care less. They literally put in the description that it's a feature, not a bug. So let's go over some of the features of Goat Simulator. One feature is that cars may just randomly start spasming for no reason, so you have an easier time finding them because of the movement. Or the other feature where your giraffe neck can get stuck in a bridge in case you have to get up to do something and your kid is nearby. Or hop on a bike and clip through the ground so the police can't find you. Or lastly, stick your legs through your body so the leg-eating parasites pass you over on account of not seeing any legs. These are all features, not bugs. Remember that when you play. Goat Simulator 3 is a good game for what it's trying to do. It's a visually appealing game that definitely doesn't try to take itself seriously, which is a huge draw to the game. For myself personally, however, this is not a game that I could play for hours and hours a day. The funny nature of hitting people with abilities or hijacking cars, etc. kind of falls off after a while, and the voice acting and music becomes quite annoying. I'm sure if you were playing online though, this wouldn't be the case. If you were a fan of Goat Simulator 1, I believe this is a game that you should definitely try. With that, on our patented 0 to 1 scale, we rate this game a 0.77 out of 1. If you enjoyed this no goat shit review of Goat Simulator, please stomp your hooves on that like button, subscribe for more content like this, and come most interesting memory with a goat. Thank you, good night, and avoid any sucking motions or drinking out of straws after you've had your wisdom teeth removed.